Welcome to my channel Tech Set Go. The Meta Ray-Ban display glasses are absolutely insane. But there are 7 important things that you need to know before you buy them. So, let's dive right into it. And directly starting it off is with what comes inside the box. Now firstly, when opening it up, you will find the Meta wristband and glasses box packaged neatly together into one. And we will discuss that wristband box more in detail in just a second. But the bigger glasses box easily folds out when opened up. And it also has the setup QR code visible on the side of it. And the glasses itself come wrapped into a foldable case that you can make all the way flat so that it could easily fit into your pocket. And of course, the box has your charging cable and Meta cleaning cloth for your lenses neatly included in here too. And lastly though, you'll find your standard safety and warranty guide on the bottom here. The neural band box only comes with the wristband and a magnetic USB-C charger, which gets us directly also to our next point, and that is the hardware itself. Now, the Meta display glasses have a slightly bulkier frame compared to your basic Meta Ray-Ban bands. But thanks to this increase, it now rocks a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera that can take photos in portrait in up to 4,000, and if you prefer, taking videos instead. Then it can record in 1080p with a total of 30 frames per second. And with the nice addition is that it now also includes a 3-time digital zoom, so that you can even snap those shots if you're further away. But an important detail that many have missed is when it comes to your lenses, because the Meta Ray-Ban display glasses come with built-in transition optics, which means that these will automatically darken, depending on if you're in a bright outside environment or in a dimly lit room. Now, it also has 2 built-in speakers inside the legs of the frame next to their flagship 6 microphone array that you can use to capture clear spatial audio or voice recordings with. But by far the biggest new feature is of course the display, because this is the first time that we finally get a functional screen in one of Meta's official consumer smart glasses. Although there are some key points that you might want to know about. Now firstly, the screen is only visible in the right lens, meaning you won't be having a 3-dimensional image like you have on a VR headset, for example. And secondly, this is not real augmented reality, but instead, it is just a simple flat screen, which is a big difference compared to the Meta Orion prototypes, since these ones in comparison are capable of projecting virtual objects that you can interact with in your surroundings, which in one, it's kind of similar to the mixed reality functions that we have on the Quest headsets. So in the case of the Meta display glasses, it should be probably best compared to a small see-through phone screen that is on the side of your vision. And spec-wise, the screen has 600 by 600 pixels with an up to 90 Hz refresh rate and their new privacy tech. And that means that you will be the only one that can actually see your screen. But to be able to control anything on your glasses, you will most likely be making use of that so-called new neural wristband. And this thing is kind of crazy, because to only already explain how it works is that this wristband can read these signals that are going from your brain towards your hand. And then it can also translate it into actions that you see on screen. And that can go from something as simple as twisting your thumb and index finger, to up the volume to swiping with your thumb to left and right to navigate through your applications. But it can also do things like typing or writing with minimal hand movements, so that it can let you send messages to your friends without people around you even noticing. While Meta has been working on these neural wristbands for quite a long time, it is still insane to see them as a working product. And also not to forget, it has a built-in battery that can last you up to 18 hours, while the glasses itself have about 6 hours of battery on a single charge. And luckily, if your wristband is empty, then you can also use the sidebar to control your glasses like you would on any normal Meta Ray-Ban bands. Or you could choose to use your voice thanks to the Meta AI, but more on that later. Oh, and another quick tip is that while both the wristband and glasses do have some water resistance to them, they are absolutely not meant to be taken for a swim or shower. So, still be very careful with that. Otherwise, it can cost you quite a lot, which also directly gets us to the elephant in the room. And that is the price, because the Meta Ray-Ban display glasses come in at a total of $799. And this includes the previously mentioned neural wristband too. However, This doesn't mean you'll be able to jump into your next hardware store and buy a pair of these, because the Meta Ray-Ban display glasses are currently only available in the US, with a worldwide rollout later on. But even in the US, they are still very limited to actual brick-and-mortar retailers. Examples of these are Best Buy, Lens Crafters, Sunglasses Hunt, and of course, the Ray-Ban stores itself. And this also means there will be no online buying options, since you will need to get them fitted for you personally when you get them. But before we get to the next most important things that you need to know before you buy the Meta display glasses, let's first have a quick word from the company that made this video possible. Because none other than KTVR, who are known for creating VR treadmills that look like they come straight out of Ready Player One, are once again taking virtual reality to the next level. Because while we are normally limited by the boundary system inside our VR experiences, it is Cat VR that has created these VR treadmills that let you run and jump without any limitation. And since their most recent version, which is known as the C2 Plus Enhanced, is compatible with every VR headset that you can think of, it is also often considered as the dream upgrade for any VR user. And they even go so far that it has things like haptic feedback built into it, as well as a vehicle hub, which will make it feel even more realistic. When you're racing on a track or flying through the sky, as a cherry on top, you can also use the code FLETIDY for a whopping $130 off on your entire purchase. So, for those who are interested, I'll leave a link in the description below. And that gets us to the next part, which is the new software and features. Now, the Meta display glasses come with a bunch of new things that you can do with them. For example, you can now preview a photo or video before you take it thanks to the display, but you can also take this a step further and translate the things that you are seeing or photographing in front of you. And this directly unlocks a lot of options. On top of that, think about using your display for navigation, or even try out the live caption feature that can give you direct subtitles on what people are saying right in front of your eyes. But there is also one downside, and that is that most of these features and applications will often still need the support of something like your phone. And besides that, the available options for the apps is highly limited, since it doesn't come with any kind of app store pre-installed on it. So quite important is that this translates to that all the applications that you will be using on here are made and created by Meta. Meta, of course, we can also not forget one of their main focus points right now, which is Meta AI, because all these smart glasses from Meta have this AI built into it from the start. And thanks to it, the new display gets the previously mentioned functions and features added to it. Although you could also use it for day-to-day tasks like asking questions or planning out stuff for you, similar to what you would use your ChatGPT or other trusty AIs for. But, honestly, it is because these are being built into your glasses that it almost feels like having a person that knows nearly anything just next to you, and that can help you out whenever you want. Although you might start to rely pretty heavy on this once you get the hang of it, which also gets us to the final conclusion. Now, the Meta Ray-Ban display glasses are truly an insane advancement in wearables and personal tech in general. And while it has some of the most cutting-edge features that go from the neural wristband to the unique private screen display, I do think that at a price of $799, it definitely won't be for everybody. However, I do think that there is a lot of potential both in the current Ray-Ban display glasses as well with what else Mark Zuckerberg is working on. But even so, I do think it is good to keep in mind that we are not on that level yet of the Orion prototypes, and that this is more like a big first step into the wearable smart glasses that have more than just a camera built into it. But that's not all, because Meta also announced a bunch of other insane things during their Connect event that you need to know about. So click on the video that you see on screen right now to make sure you don't miss out on that. And of course, stay awesome.